I'm just going to keep working on my desk design and keep it shorter today because I have to change my evening schedule a little bit, but I will otherwise just be streaming as normal. Pretty much all I have to say about that. Right off the top, if there's anyone watching this after the fact on a VOD, please consider helping out my channel grow by liking if you're on YouTube, commenting, subscribing. If you're watching on Twitch, please consider following the channel. And what's even more helpful is if you share it around on forums or with friends who might find this kind of programming and design interesting and compelling in any way. Sharing this around is a way I want to grow things, and all the help I can get is extremely beneficial. So consider doing that if you want to see this grow. Of course, there's always the options of, if you are so inclined, providing financial help as well through a donation link in my Twitch About page, or using my Patreon and becoming a member on one of those tiers. Consider it. It's not necessary, but money is necessary for me to keep this up and grow this. So any little bit does help, and you could be on the early adopter side of things. If that's compelling to you in any way, consider it as a perk of being early to helping the channel grow. But like I said, that's completely up to you, and even just watching and commenting in chat and stuff like that is already really helpful to me. So thanks up front for participating. On that note, I'm going to just launch into my work for the day. There's not much more to say about it. I just have to refresh my mind as to where I was and get the ball rolling. I have a new mic here, so if things aren't sounding normal, if there's a problem and you're watching, consider letting me know in the chat, and I could try to troubleshoot. But I think I've got it set up okay. So I'm just gonna actually double check here and see if everything's okay. Troubleshoot, but I think I've got it set up okay. So I'm just gonna actually double check. I'm just watching myself, and it sounds like there's audio, so that's good. And let me just now pull up my chat and get on in to my work. Gotta stretch, gotta get ready. All right. I am pretty much good to go. So, what's the deal for me today? I don't entirely remember what I'm gonna... I need to slowly ramp into hard work this week. I I had a really nice, completely non-work weekend. Played some video games, you know, that good stuff. Took a break from intense workouts, but I got to ramp right up into it again. So, been trying to focus this morning. Didn't quite come to me, and now I'm going to use this stream as a kickstart to boom right back into things. But it's going to take a few minutes for me to remember where I was at last. I do know that I was fiddling with the concept of adding a filleted edge to this shape here. So probably that's where I want to have a little look again. So go ahead and try to get that ball rolling again. Let me try to figure out what's going on here, though. Okay, so I really don't remember where or what was going on, so I have to try and get back into that space. Okay, so this is the function I'm having a look at. And arc points, I believe, is what I'm trying to get to work properly. And I don't think it has worked yet. So points. Okay, let me get rid of this for a minute. Okay, so we're looking at just the outer points here. I kind of want to see what happens if I only plot the arc points. I suspect I won't see anything, and I don't know why. So let's have a peek here. This shape has, yeah, the classic conundrum. Okay, that means, okay, arc is, I guess, not resulting in valid numbers, so let's have a peek at that. Let's see what A is here. Okay. So something's gone wrong here. This is producing invalid arc points here. These arc points are probably already 3D, right? Maybe that's what's happening here. If I instead do this, polygon with points, does that, let's see here. Still invalid. Let's just do that. That's still not going to be right. Okay. I have to figure this out, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of bring this into the Forge namespace and go at it from there. Hopefully I can make this work. Of course. Okay, so Clojure dot REPL / source. Hopefully that'll work. SVG / rotate point. Yes. Turns out I have the same function in two libraries, I guess. Oops. Not quite. Okay. Rotate. Oh, maybe this is the issue here. No, never mind. Trying to think of the right way to do this. Well, I could theoretically get the equivalent point. Let's see if this makes sense. Rotate point. Let's do 1, 1. Oh, it's got to be, I think, 3-dimensional. Now I'm going to rotate it about the angle x, 0, the angle y, 0, and the angle around the z axis is 45 degrees. So it should be 0, 1.40. So if I do the same with this here, svg/rotate point, I take the point, well, 45 degrees, and I do 1, 1. It should give me the same numbers. It does. Okay, so I'm actually going to do this here, f/rotate point, and the point is going to be 0t 0, and the the angles to rotate are going to be 0, 0, 90. So it's as if it's rotating rotating the xy plane around the z-axis, which is the same result as this SVG function. So that should be helpful for getting something going anyway. So let's have a peek at this now. Hopefully that works. Let's just get rid of this here. All of these should just be like that. Okay, so now if I run rectangle tube cross section, let's do 3 by 2 by 0.14. Okay, so that's producing what seems to be a valid result. So, but of course, I actually want to kind of comment some stuff out here and just return the arc points here, arc points, and have a little peek at what that. Okay, so that does produce a result. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so this should render weirdly, I think, but or not at all. So peek here. What's going on now? Console. Vector's key for a soc must be a number. Not quite sure what that means, but let's do this. Okay, we've got a render again. That's nice. So this doesn't seem to have fixed it. Let's see what's going on now. Still not a number. Okay, so not entirely sure what the deal with that is. So let's try path polygon and see if that. Oh, of course, that's the wrong function. That doesn't exist. Okay. Right, so what is the deal now? This point should be a 3D point. This arc should be a valid arc. Arc points should be some valid set of points. It looks like it is. I mean, the points are a weird set, but they're valid points as far as I can tell. What's going on here? Oh, maybe actually. Oh, I see. Maybe I see here. I'm not sure. Let's try this. Didn't work. Okay. Not a big deal, just not correct yet. Okay, let's gotta get to the bottom of this. Oop. Okay. All right, so that seems to be working. Well, does it work with if I extrude it though? Let's do that. Extrude this. Kinda. I mean, it's maybe. I don't expect that decimal to be the cause of this. That wouldn't really make sense to me. Although, you know, could be. Well, now this actually doesn't need to be an add z situation here. because that'll be a 3D point. The arc will be some point plus a 3D point. This is a 3D point, and this is a 3D point. So the arc should be a function at this point, and you put all of that into a vector for some range 0 to 1 with a step size of 0.2. That should get you only a few points, but should get you points. And then you do drop last, which drops the z value of the result of that, and you put that into a vector. That should work, right? Like if I run this function and all I spit out is points, yeah, it's a whole whack of points. I mean, they're gonna be kind of weird points, but it looks, the points look wrong, but they should still form part of a valid polygon, right? That's the thing I'm struggling with here. Except 3, this number, or this point here, probably doesn't need to exist. So actually, let's get rid of that, but that's not gonna make it work. It's still wrong. What's going on here? I would like to know what's happening, please. Because if I just do this, it works. So what is wrong? There's something wrong with the arc points, and that confuses me, I must admit. I will admit confusion. Right, like if I undo this point, it'll be a proper rectangle. That's what I want. And I want this to work. Why doesn't it? It's not this, is it? That shouldn't fix it. Yeah, no. Let's just do t. Let's do t 0.1, 0.5, and 0.9. What's going on? Okay. This must not be working the way I think. This B-rep curve, there must be something going on here. Okay, let's try just a random set of points. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. And let's do negative. No, we'll do 0, negative 1, 0, like that. Oh. A is this function, so if we call A with 0, it gives a... Okay, so what's the deal there? That's where things are going wrong. The boundary rep curve arc function isn't working. But if I do exactly the same... excuse me, a little tired, I guess. If I run this, no such namespace F. Of course, that's not a problem. A0. Okay, so it works here. So something weird is happening here between the Clojure and Clojure script versions, or something's wrong with this function in the context of Clojure script. What could be happening? That's what I gotta find out. Okay, so I wonder if this is it. You know what? What I'd like to do is put this in here. Curve arc proto. Yes, yes. Okay, so F slash. Oops. Okay, so if I now def A with curve arc proto instead, what happens? Okay, it works, and all I changed, I think, was this, right? If I do this, okay, I don't understand. Maybe it's because of this. Maybe it's I bet this is what it is. Is this here in the context of the Forge library, if you run it inside that, it doesn't need this is already in the namespace, but here in this context you need F slash circle. So how do you fully resolve the namespace? That's it needs to be, how does that work again? If I do is it like this? Pardon me. Ooh, now I forget what the right thing to do is. I mean, I could do it like this would probably forge dot proto slash. Okay, that should work, right? I think that might be the cause of what not a number struggles I'm encountering here, but I'm not 100% certain about that. Okay, so let's refresh this context here, get things going. Well, that might not be the solution to my woes, but it's worth a try. Okay, so curve arc proto. Let's do A is this. Okay, so we're getting numbers again. That's exactly what I want, or that's exactly what I'm hoping to see, because it's what I need. But now, let's see here. Oops. That's not what I meant. So I'm still getting not a number problems. Is that... It could very well be just because... is this... It might be related to... Well, I don't know what it's related to. No. I thought I had this problem solved. Clearly not solved. Okay. That is fine. It means I have to... having a little peek at things here. Is it like this, maybe? No, that's not it. How does this work again? I should know this, but I forget. Oh, I think that's... Let's see, that might actually solve what I'm trying to do here. Although I'm not certain. Okay, let's try it. Let's eval this. Let's see if this will actually, if brep curve arc actually works. It's nil, so that's not correct. Do I have to do this now? Okay, let's check that just this way works. It should, I think. Ooh. Well, that's not good. Okay, this is going to be a problem for me. This now, this will work, right? Yeah. Shoot. Okay. Well, let's back to this old method here. Let's see what I can figure out. Okay. Instead of this one, I just call this one the inner or the local copy of the function. Is it still gonna give me not a number errors? It appears to be. But let's try to refresh this again. Okay, come on. Let's see. Can we get anything? I'm not getting anywhere here. This is admittedly a little bit frustrating for me. can't figure out what the deal is here. Okay, if I do, let's see here. Okay, eval that into this namespace, and let's just run the function rectangle tube cross section 3 by 2 by 0.14, and that gives me, wait, what? Why is it doing that? Shouldn't it just give me, I've become confused. Okay. Interesting. So this isn't doing what I expect. Which, now that I think about this, let me go back to this. Let me make a rectube cross section that works without any arc points or anything weird like that. So if I just get rid of this, ooh, wait a second. Points is just gonna be straight up normal list of points, nothing crazy. Then I points is nicely going to be the offset of those, and then you just polygon those and you'll get a working, there you go, rectangular tube shape there. Now this is a work in progress. So what I'm trying to do here is figure out what the deal is with this arc function. Okay, so this, let's go through this history here. Let's define this here. That's a function now. Okay, so if I def a to be this, and I run a0. Okay, so this is interesting to me. It's giving me an entire object. It's not running the result of that. Okay, what did I mess up here? B is f/brep curve arc of 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, and 1, 1, 0 should be a valid arc. B0. Yeah, okay, so the functions behave differently in Clojure script here, right? Like if I do this exact thing, def b as this, I have to fix this. This is not behaving as I intended. See, this just gives me a single result out, or nil in the case of 1, which might be a mistake. Okay, I have to fix that. And And in order to do so, I have to think. But for a moment, I actually have to go to the washroom, get myself some coffee. So I'm going to be right back. Won't be long, but see you in a minute. Okay, I'm going to get back into it again. So I've discovered weird behavior that I didn't expect. So let's mess around with that. Okay, so this / blah blah blah. Oh, wait a second. I'm calling this function all wrong. Anyway. Aren't I? Maybe not. Oh no, it's not wrong. Except okay. I think I've made a mistake here. This has to be F. It cannot be. Let's try that. That might actually solve my issue. Okay, so here, this has to be F. And then this. Oh, okay. Okay, let's give that a try. Let's define B. Well, well, whatever. Let's do this. Okay. B0. Ah, there it is. Okay. All right, there we go. Now I'm getting somewhere. Now I'm getting somewhere. This is a horrible variable name problem that I had. I was shadowing the circle function, which was causing confusion at the very least, and might actually have caused the wrong function to be called in this context. Anyway, now I'd like to give this a try, where I'm doing this, brep curve arc, and I return the arc function inside here. So if I now do def b, where am I at here? Okay, here, we'll just use a. So if I call a 0, it should, there we go. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now I can produce valid lists of points. Now it looks like I can actually uncover this and give it a shot. So let's go here. Okay, a. Okay, it looks like it's providing valid data, which is a good start. Should hopefully let me actually produce a little bit of what I want to produce here. Okay, so we've got the wrong points, but we're on the right track. There we go. Finally, I can render things a little more correctly. Now what I want to do is change this for t, this range. It's very wrong, but very wrong is a step toward more correct, which is exciting. Okay, so basically what I'm seeing here is it's working, except for the fact that it's exactly wrong. So I need to derive the correct arc points to use here. That's the thing I have to do. So in order to do that, I need to think. And so what I actually need, first off, this point has to be minus r, not minus t. Interesting. And this has to be r as well. And it might be as simple as swapping point positions here. Yeah, maybe. Close, or maybe close. Whoa, big problem. Okay, gotta have a little look at this now. Fix up the oops. Oops again. All right, are we getting somewhere? Seriously? Come on. Gotta do this. Okay, brep curve arc. Something went a little bit wrong here. This is wrong. This should be closed like that. Well, that's completely off kilter. Right? It's not correct even a little bit. And did this. Ooh. Okay. So now I have to actually think, which is totally to be expected. WR0, and this one is okay, so this has the biggest resemblance to the correct output, but obviously it's still wrong. We need to fix that. Let's have a look at this. Ooh, closer. Getting much closer. So just to make this a little easier to follow in my brain, I'm gonna remove the inner points lines for a second here and see basically the only thing that's wrong here is the this shape is like going the wrong way, and this will make it worse, yeah, because that jogs the point back. Yeah, we don't need that point at all. In fact, no, we don't want it. Okay, so what's going on now? The curve is basically going the wrong direction. So where did that go wrong? We need the full width minus R00. That's the correct starting position as far as I understand. And the correct end position should be full width plus the radius downward. So that should be correct. So maybe it's just this here where the rotate point, all I'm trying to do with this is calculate, oh, shouldn't this be 45 degrees? That didn't solve what I thought it would solve. Okay. This is not quite correct. I wonder if this has to be okay, so I'm close. Okay, this is nearly correct. Come on, brain, what's the problem here? Okay, rotate the point 0, you get nothing useful. Rotate it 45, you get the inverted version of what I need. If I rotate it 90, it won't work either. Yeah, 135 should be wrong as well. It's up too much that way. If I add 45 to this, I get 180, which will be wrong. It doesn't seem to work at all. 225 is also not correct. Add 45 to this. 270 will not be right either, I don't believe. 315. Okay. So things just don't work the way I think they should. So 45 degrees is correct, but I'm doing something wrong here. Oh, is this it? Okay. I'm getting close, but not quite there. And I'm not thinking very hard about it, which is always what causes some problems. Okay. I feel like my arc approach isn't very intelligent. Let's have a look at the circle implementation here as well. A lot of conned stuff, which isn't bad necessarily. Center from points, normalize, and you do a cross product to get the vector. Okay. Well, what is the right solution? I'm going to, just for now, actually set these points up a little differently here. Okay, so this arc point I want to be at. So for sure I want these 2 points where they're at. This one I'm just gonna manually type in my own kind of weird one. Well, actually that's not right. Let's see what this looks like, kind of as is. And here, if I do oops. Not quite what I expected. If I do some crazy number like w times 2, and things are going weird on me. Stuff's not working. Okay. Right. So, right, when that happens, you get glitches. That's almost right, but it's obviously not. And it's also the case that I think if I want it to be if I wanted to invert it, I'd have to take this one, put it here. Ugh, see, that doesn't work either. Okay. It's time to head to the good old drawing board here and get things working properly, and that's gonna take more work than just goofing around with this junk. Okay, so to do that, what's the right thing to test out now? Thinking a little bit. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is go back to this. I am actually just gonna delete this, get things back to, don't want that in there. Get things back to a displayable state. There it is, nicely done. Simple tube shape, no fillets or anything like that. Let me go here, and intro component is just the text here. The work surface is very simple. The tube component is here, which I can, where did it go? Oh yeah, that's right, it's in the design tube. Tube component is this thing. Isometric, transform, boom. And instead of slate gray, let me do black. Nice and crisp. Okay, so now what I want to do is make a little scratch spot. Fold that up. Here, this is going to be renamed to scratch. And away we go. Okay. Okay, so the scratch component is going to be similar scratch component. Okay, so it's just gonna have a drawing 2D. That I can actually make it 400 by 400, seems good. and it'll have the object being rendered, but the object is going to be just a 2D SVG slash circle 10. Let's get that in there. Okay, good. We've got something to display. So instead of this, what I actually want to do is create what is the right thing to do? Well, let's do f slash brep curves arc, and I want it to have okay, let me think about this. Thinking about the right thing to do here. Let's let the radius, we'll specify a radius. Oops. Okay, so radius, the fillet radius. I'm basically going to make a 1x1 square and try to put some fillet on there. So let's make the fillet radius 0.25, and let's make the pivot point be it's going to be 0.75, 0.75, because the rest of the shape is going to be a square with the one corner at 0, 0. That makes sense to me, sure. That should be fine. Okay, so the point can be, oops. Okay, then I can make a brep curve arc with the points 0.75, 1, and 0. Y is 1, yep. Then this midpoint is, let's make it 1, 1, 0. It's wrong, but it's a starting point. It shouldn't be a big deal, really, I hope. Actually, let's do that correctly. Let's do f slash v plus point plus the f slash rotate point r00 around 0, 0 z by 45 degrees. And then the last point here will be 1, 0.75, 0. I think that might work. That's wrong. This is also wrong. This has to be like that. Okay, that is the arc function. And then okay, that maybe let's close the let here. And then here, right, let's do oh, you know what, actually, I'll do one more thing in here. let points be 4. I'll do it like this. Into vector 4 t range 0 to 1.1 step size 0.1. For all of those, what I need to happen is the eval of, I have to do drop last of ft, and I need to put that into a vector. So this is just creating the list of points, which I can render here to make a polyline that should hopefully show the arc in a way that makes sense, and then just build things up from there. Okay, so let's thread last the points, points through svg/polyline, and then svg/style element fill none, and stroke well, that's wrong. Keyword stroke, there we go. Red, sure. Hopefully that renders something for me. I think it'll work. It did not. I broke it. Okay, perfect. I love it. I love it when things break. Uncaught error, collections must be the same size. Yes. This point is 3-dimensional. There we go, we got something. I've done something wrong. Okay, let's have a peek here. For range 0, 1, step size of 1, is that doing anything for me? What happened? There we go. So it's not working, it's only giving out a single point value, which is not not correct. So where did I go wrong? Oh, here. Nope, that's not it. This I don't think will fix it. It's still just not evaluating properly. Okay, let's try. Have a little peek at the points being generated in the REPL. If I run scratch component. Okay, there's a whole lot of nothing there. And why might that be? Is this a thing? Is this right? Oops. Okay, it does give something. So if I do that, if I do f/v plus this result plus point, which is 0.75, 0.750, right? Yeah. Okay, that does give me a number. Well, and of course this has to be, instead of 1, this would have to be r, which is 0.25 in that context. So this number should be the middle part of this arc curve function. So if I do def a as f/brep curve arc ABC, yeah, so a 0.7510, b this thing, and then c 1 0.750, right? Yeah. Should be a valid thing. Oops. A 0.1 nil. Okay, what's going on there? Something is obviously wrong. A 1 nil. A nil. What have I done? Okay, let's do this. Okay, so it's nilling out all over the place here. Okay, this arc function, brep curve arc, what's the deal here? I don't know, man. Brep curve circle, B0, B1, B 0.1. Okay, so okay, these lists of points, can I run angle from points on this list of points? Angle from points. It does give an angle. If I do it with points version 2, you get that weird value. Let's try the arc again. Okay, so there's something wrong with the angle from points 2 being used in this context. So let's leave a little note for myself here. There are 2 angle from points functions. They don't both work here, even though I think they should. Points angle from points 2 causes this function to nil out in many cases. Angle from points only reports the small angle no matter what. So that isn't always going to produce the correct arc. Okay, good to know. Now, theoretically, if I refresh this, it reloads the code change from the Forge library, and it should, when I render the component back in, it should produce non-nil point values. So if I run scratch component, I have to make some changes here. There's something there. It's hard to see, but I can get there, and that's just probably because the scale is tiny here. Let's do 50, 200. There's a nice arc, but not the way I want it necessarily. Actually, no, that's correct. Okay, so arc points is that. Then points is, let's just manually make it 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Concat these points 0, 0, 1, 0, 0 with arc points, which then gets concatenated with one more point, which is 0, 1, 0. I think that's correct. Let's give that a try. Oh, I just had one thing inverted, I guess. Oh, wait a second. What did I miss? I goofed something. 0, 0. What? I've messed something up, and it's in my brain. Okay. Reverse arc points, maybe? Ah, we're on to something there. And this can be a polygon now. Okay, that's closer to what I wanted. It's not perfect at all, but that kind of works. So now, actually, what would be interesting is if I now run I points is f/offset 0.125. How does offset work again? Points and then the distance. That's I points, and if I take this and make a second copy, close that off and do I points. Oops. Will that work? Ooh, it does not work. Not even a little bit. Real shame that. It's kind of close, but not close enough. Let's slow this down. Shoot, that's a shame. So my offset function isn't really working properly with everything else anyway. That's a shame. If I comment this out, does it work nicely? No. What's going on now? happened to my offset here? Oh, something's wrong. This doesn't make any sense. Ah, okay. We've got something on the. Okay, there we go. Let's make this a smaller offset value though. There we go. And then let's pop the arc points back in there. Ah, okay. So it does work. 1 0 0 1. Yes. Okay. And we'll make it an internal. Ah, okay. So that is actually surprisingly good. Okay, I'm fairly happy with that so far. So now I have to do the magic of figuring out a way to generalize this into a fillet sort of command. Right? That's the thing that is actually going to be useful. And what's the right approach? I don't have much more time, but actually, wait, let me think. I've got till 4 o'clock, so a little bit of time. I'm gonna be right back again though. 1 second. All right, I'm back. I'm back, and I'm about to figure out a way to put fillets on shapes. At least that's what I want to do. So the right what's the right way to think about this? A fillet is applied on a polygon shape at the intersection of two curve elements. So how do I achieve that in a way that makes sense? Okay, let's see here. So the calculating the points with a for loop like this is an incidental element of rendering it via SVG. That's not necessary in the sense of yes. Oh, I got my watch trying to talk and listen to me. I don't like that. It's not what I need. Okay, so this is a little bit complicated, to be honest. Open SCAD fillet. I'm not sure how OpenSCAD thinks about this sort of thing. Okay, so this 31-minute build time, that's... Oh, this is less than 1 minute. Localized fillets. Yeah, I don't know. Basically what happens with automatic fillets and radius and stuff like that uses a thing called Minkowski sums. Basically, you, as far as I remember, you make a sphere or a cylinder for only rounding one part, and then those get kind of like smeared along the edge of the shape to produce a fillet, and then you can do various combinations to get fillets of any shape, which works, but that's not the mode I'm thinking about right now, so that's not quite what I'm after. Right, so let's just go at it like this. Let's do let's just start here and do okay, so fillets applied to a well, let's do I don't know. I'm having a real hard time thinking about how to generalize this appropriately. Um, I think there is a way to do fillets with 2D SDFs. Hmm. Quadratic Bezier, that's cool. Ooh, this is going to be useful actually in the future. Making shapes rounded. Okay. Is this... that's not... So this is maybe the FREP sort of equivalent of that, but not exactly what I'm after here. So I have to get back to that. Okay, this is really tough. I'm not able to come up with a solution right now. So, to a shape at intersections of curves. So for a polygon, all corner points can be filleted. A fillet for BREP is best represented with a BREP curve arc. A fillet for FREP is best done with transformation using scaling plus constant offset to produce a rounded shell that maintains original dimension of the boundary while adding the rounded corners. See whatever. Future me's gonna have to really wrestle with this anyway, so. Okay, call that good for now. This is a start because it does actually produce a fillet like I want to visualize, but I want to generalize it so that I can run, let's say, a regular polygon, and I could say mask out the corner positions that I want filleted versus the ones I don't. I also just realized it might be necessary for me to add into the model the concept, the concept of let me put a little one in here. Letting myself get distracted. Sorry about that. That's just the way it is today. Gotta ramp up that brain, you know? Okay, here. Model map. Def sample model. Yeah, sample model, sure. Is just gonna be a map that contains, well, let's go ahead and have a quick peek at, right, if I do f/polygon 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay, and then I do f/extrude. Extrude this whole thing by a height of 10. That's a shape, and if I do keys of that, okay, I get history, which I'm gonna let it be empty for now. Frep, brep. So frep is some function. Brep is also some list of functions. Oh, this is wrong. Because brep is going to be a list of all different things. So, okay, so, but this is basically what I was getting at. So the idea was basically, so you have history, frep, vertices, curves, surfaces, and volumes. But you also have, let's say, here, what would they be called? So I want to kind of have a separate idea of vertices and things like control points or center points, center lines, that kind of thing. So I'm not sure if I should create a separate markings is not a good reference geometry. Okay, so I actually wonder if I should instead have a concept of tagged. Oh, this is hard to think of. So what I mean by reference would be something like, in the case of a fillet, you might want to have as a future reference for drawing, for rendering, or for manipulation later on, the radius center point of a fillet. And that point is not a point that you will draw like it's not an element of the final geometry so much as a position of reference for measuring or displaying for future needs. But it is not technically fundamental to the final output of the model per se. So it has a sort of different connotation. It's a little tricky for me to figure out how I want to do that. It might I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Well, let's just, I don't know. The result of the most recent call. No, that's not right. The quoted most recent function call with eval args. I don't know if that's the right way to describe that. The single frep function which produces the shape ref list of reference elements like center points vertices curves list of curve functions parametric curve functions used in all elements list of parametric surface functions used in all elements and volumes list of volume functions this used in all elements thing is redundant, so I won't include it. This is also a horrible way to be making a note of this, I think. It's kind of an abuse of what a map really is, so I'm just kind of, this is kind of nothing. But it's the only thing I can think of to do right now because I don't know how I'm gonna properly make like a true fillet function generic enough to use in all, like to make really useful. I can only really think of specifics for this case, and it might just be smarter for me to skip it kind of for the sake of this design because I don't technically need it anyway, though it would be really nice to have. And it is nice to know that the offset function does work when you approximate the fillet like this anyway. It's just it needs some work is really what I'm noticing. Man, struggle for me today. This is hard. I'm going to put a little note to myself here. Not sure how best to handle reference elements like center points, midlines, control points, etc. Perhaps they shouldn't be my first concern at all, but I feel like they are going to be necessary for visual clarity, debugging, and control in UI environments. It might be better to tag elements as ref and just keep them in their existing and just place them appropriately. Example, a center point is just a tagged version of a vertex, and so ends up in the vertices list. Maybe that's good, I don't know. It's a little hard for me to figure out the best way to do that right now, so I'll do it later. I also realized something here. The history of the extrude here, since I'm not really able to focus in on exactly what to do next, may as well kind of clean up little bits here and there while I've got a few minutes to do it. Hardly perfect, but better than nothing. Okay, so here, this history thing here is actually producing the incorrect result. Oh, there's another thing. The functional rep of a polygon is missing in this context. So I have to, let me fix two things quickly, hopefully. Primitives, operations, sorry, extrude. If I look over at the extrude function here, I need to change how this history thing is built. I basically just need to unwrap it from the list item, and it should work, I think. Let me have a quick peek at primitives polygon here and go to here, frep polygon. If I instead do clip ears, this should now work. Let's see. Okay. Getting a little ahead of myself here. Polygon old. Okay, polygon here. Polygon quote at paths that evals the thing you put in there right there. So the history becomes this call here. And if you were to extract the history and run it, you'd get exactly the same element out. That's kind of the goal. And if I look back at operations extrude, this just has to be at shape at age. So what I want to see is if that'll work. So let's just do this. Okay, here polygon is just this thing, so let's evaluate that in this REPL. Nice and easy. Okay, so that, ooh, the history here, that is calling the wrong function, so I have to fix that actually. I need to go to primitives, polygon, check the history of frep is also nil, which is what I don't want. I forgot to evaluate the new, where is it here? Polygon, here we go. Oh, what am I missing here? Okay. Note above. Okay, I think this should be fixed now. When I call polygon, the history is polygon. What did I do? Frep polygon. Yes, right. This is one little problem. Apply concat paths. That this won't really work correctly. Okay. With an updated frep polygon function that takes paths as an argument and correctly combines them. So actually what I should do is frep polygon paths, and here frep polygon will take paths, and points is just going to be apply concat to paths, temporary, avoidance of path merge. Does any of that make sense? Not completely, but it's fine-ish. Okay, I have a lot of work to do. I keep saying that because it's still true. There's always more to do. Always a lot of effort. And that's okay. That's part of this big undertaking that I've got going on. So really it should not come as a surprise to me that this stuff's going to take a while. Okay, polygon, there we go. The function appears to be working. It's not. What's the deal here? Is that related to the frep function? It could be. Let's nil it again just to test. That's unfortunate. It is indeed related to, if I run frep polygon, well actually, let me go back to the idea of what I was trying to do. Extrude polygon. Okay, so there is something wrong here. Oh, shoot. Okay. I'm messing stuff up left, right, and center. My work is never over. Okay. Extrude. Let's have a peek at let's have a look at what's wrong with this here. It's not this again, is it? This shouldn't really be a problem now, will it? Yeah, okay, that's not it. That's kind of good that that's not the problem here, but it does mean it's okay, don't know how to create iSequence from Java lang long. Okay. Polygon. Okay. Vertices frep nil. The history item of this. Let's def A as this polygon. Let's start with that. Okay, if I do history of A, there's that. If I eval history of A, it returns the same result, which is nice. It's really nice. It's exactly what I want to see. It works. It is equivalent to A. Actually, let's double check that. Ooh, they're not equal. Why is that? It's probably because, well, actually I don't know. Let's just visually inspect it for a minute. So it says they're not equal. It might be related to, I don't know actually. They look at a quick glance to actually be equal. But it is entirely possible that the way to check equality of two maps is not what I'm thinking, and I would have to build a more sophisticated test for this. That's entirely possible. I'm not really going to worry about it at the moment because they, by visual inspection, seem to have the same results, which I'm going to be okay with for now. So now let's get back to the extrude problem. Okay. Don't know how to create iSeq from Java lang long. So that means what exactly? I nil this out, or just get rid of that. Oh, right, I need to put a nil there. My bad. What? Okay. A map literal must have the same number of forms. Doesn't it? What's going on here? I don't understand what happened there. Okay. What happened? Okay. Okay, I've messed something up here. What's this? Why is that like that? Okay. Oh, I see here. Oh, this nil is wrong here. Okay. That's now correct. This is correct. Those are two different maps being merged. So that, yeah, okay. In fact, now actually this does need to go out here with the frep because it's being overwritten instead of being merged in a concatenate kind of form. So I think now that should actually, maybe that'll work the way I want it to. Unbalanced parens, classic mistake, classic mistake. I do this all the time. Okay, so merge with correctly goes over there. Ah, yeah, now merge, I have to put that back, let. Okay, here we go. Let's try extrude. Close, it's getting closer. So it looks like it does look like the history element is not quite working the way I expected, but that's okay because I can figure that out. Frep is nil. Okay, I have messed something up here. Okay, merge with. Okay, so you're merging the shape with those vertices, those curves, and those volumes because those all get smushed into a list together. And then you merge that with should it be merged or should it be? It should be merged, shouldn't it? What time are we at? Okay, I gotta get going soon. A little less productive than I had hoped, but nevertheless working on important stuff, so that's okay. Never a wasted day, just sometimes a little less advancement than I anticipate, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Especially when I'm trying to work through more advanced functionality. It just is going to take some time. And I'm just going to have to be okay with that. So this is close, but not quite correct, basically. Yeah, okay, so merge throws out the value of the first map and just gives you the results of those. So merge So merge with the vec concat of shape and vertices, curves, surfaces, excuse me, is working the way I thought it should. But this history element doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so extrude ended up being maybe you have to do that and this. Let's go with that. Let's try that. Okay. That might have just been the whole mistake. Okay, so if I look at if I take the history element here, it is this thing. It's forge.proto/extrude being run with the map from the polygon call, which is exactly here, which is what I need. So in the history of the extrude call, I have embedded in it the complete history of the shape before it. So to recreate every stage of a shape's history, I could just recursively go like I could just get the history thing from every single call one at a time. You do it, you just iterate that until you're down to an element without a history tag. I guess you could do it recursively too. And then boom, if you render each one of those things in sequence, you have the complete render of every step along the way. So that makes sense. Instead of appending the calls of the history, it makes sense to just overwrite it because the history is embedded in every prior thing anyway. So that's what I want. It even correctly has it even correctly has the 10 there from extrude A10 nicely. And it looks like it does correctly append vertices, curves, surfaces, and there's a volume there now. It all looks correct. So that is a nice way to end on at least something kind of working. Not perfectly, but better than nothing. The history thing is not a list, which is what I need. That's good. That's good so far. So now one final thing I want to do is have a quick peek at A. Okay. This should, I think this will fail, but if I do frep-polygon of that, B is that actually. If I do B00, okay, something's clearly wrong. I think I have to wrap this in a list yet. Okay. Okay, frep polygon needs a whole bunch of work, and so does filleting for 2D shapes. So those will be the things I work on tonight and tomorrow. Hopefully I can get something more visual prepped and worked on, but I have to get going. It's time for me to do a workout. Thanks for tuning in. Anyone who's tuned in, I really appreciate that. I'll be back again tomorrow, so have a good one.